In 2024, Ja'Marr Chase became the fifth receiver in the Super Bowl era to lead the league in receiving yards, catches, and touchdowns.
Hello, touchdown Cincinnati. And there's Ja'Marr Chase with the catch. Panthers chasing Chase. They won't catch him.
But Chase wasn't done making history. This offseason, he became the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, making over $40 million annually. But behind all this success is a scary reality. Will his contract sink the Bengals? Is his success sustainable? And most importantly, can the Bengals build a championship team around their star receiver?
Have the Bengals ever rolled the dice like this before?
No.
Has Mike Brown ever rolled the dice? If
No.
it won't change, sometimes you have to do things different.
We need to go back to the beginning. See, it didn't take long before Chase was miles ahead of his peers, but it wasn't because of football. He was a track and field phenom. As a junior, all this energy helped him become the Class 5A state long jump champion. Without ever needing to watch Chase compete on the football field, his track and field coaches knew this kid was headed for greatness. But that greatness began with his parents. His mom and dad willingly sacrificed their sleep, waking up early just to help his football dream. With work ethic head and shoulders above his peers, it didn't take long before Chase started to see serious results. It was the first football game of his junior year. Chase attended Archbishop Rummel in Louisiana, and they were set to face one of their rivals, University High out of Baton Rouge. What happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. Ja'Marr Chase, 4 touchdown catches for over 220 yards. This kid was going places, and as a 5-star recruit, the question wasn't if he would play at the next level, it was where. That's when he would make a decision that changed his life forever. He didn't realize it at the time, but he was about to meet his future NFL quarterback, Joe Burrow. However, as a true freshman in 2018, he only had 23 catches for 313 yards. But when he returned in 2019, everything clicked. During the year, he wrote his goals on Post-it notes and stuck them to his bathroom mirror. This way, he could see his goals every morning. One goal included winning the Biletnikoff Award.
The winner of the 2019 Biletnikoff Award is Ja'Marr Chase from LSU.
Given to the best receiver in college football. Little did he know, he was about to accomplish every single one of these goals. As a starter in 2019, Chase took flight, leading the FBS with 1,780 yards, 84 catches, and a SEC record 20 receiving touchdowns. On top of this, LSU posted a perfect, undefeated 13-0 season, sending them to the college football playoff. After beating Oklahoma in the Peach Bowl, this set up the ultimate championship game between two future number 1 overall picks. The Joe Burrow-led LSU Tigers were going up against the Trevor Lawrence-led Clemson Tigers. But with a national championship on the line, this game wouldn't just come down to the quarterback, it would depend on the receiver. And once the game started, Chase wasted no time showing he was the nation's best receiver. He posted a CFB championship game record 221 yards. It was the fairy tale ending, an undefeated season capped off by a national championship. But 2020 was about to throw a wrench that no one saw coming. Chase lost both quarterback Joe Burrow and fellow receiver Justin Jefferson to the NFL draft. Worse yet, COVID-19 hit. And that's when Chase had two options. He could either play another season or skip the season entirely and prepare for next year's NFL draft. Ultimately, he chose the latter. See, Chase had nothing to gain from another season and everything to lose. One bad injury and his future would be in jeopardy. Yet this decision left a sour taste in the mouths of NFL scouts and coaches. They questioned whether Chase was really dedicated to the sport or if he was just trying to secure a giant payday. Fortunately, there was one man who vouched for Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Burrow. Burrow's Bengals drafted 5th overall in the 2021 draft, leaving the Bengals with no choice but to draft his top college receiver. But even with his college quarterback, it had been a whole year since Chase played football, and that soon became painfully obvious. In the preseason, Chase dropped multiple balls that hit him square in the hand. Critics were quick to doubt if the NFL game was too fast for the 21-year-old. That's when Chase played his first career regular season game, and suddenly, everything clicked. He finished the game with 102 receiving yards and a touchdown as the Bengals beat the Vikings in overtime. But he wasn't finished. In Week 7, he got his first real taste of the Bengals-Ravens historic rivalry. He responded with over 200 receiving yards and an 82-yard touchdown. His 754 receiving yards shattered an NFL record for the most receiving yards by a player in their first 7 career games. But in Week 17, Ja'Marr Chase had an opportunity to do something way better than breaking records. See, the Bengals were 1 win away from securing their first division title in years. But to do that, they had to defeat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. It was the biggest moment of Chase's season, and he responded with the unthinkable.
Chase, I'll take that. Touchdown, right over Ward.
He totaled 266 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, setting the NFL record for most receiving yards in a game by a rookie. His rookie season was nothing short of unreal, as Chase finished top 5 in both receiving yards and touchdowns.
Ja'Marr Chase, he's got it. Chase to the end zone.
But heading into the playoffs, Chase got a chance to make history once more. The Bengals hadn't won a playoff game in over 30 years. In a franchise-altering game, Chase shocked everyone. He recorded over 100 yards as their defense clinched the game with a game-sealing interception. That's when Bengals fans went absolutely ballistic. Yet, that was merely the start. Only a week later, the Bengals upset the top-seeded Tennessee Titans. Now they were headed to the AFC Championship against a familiar foe, the Kansas City Chiefs. And despite trailing by as many as 18 points, the Bengals prevailed in overtime.
And Cincinnati is heading.
In his rookie season, Chase was going to the Super Bowl. In 3 years, he won the national championship, earned Rookie of the Year honors, and booked a ticket to the Super Bowl. Now, before we keep going to check this out, Ja'Marr himself said that if we can get the subscribers up on this channel, he will personally come onto the channel and do the gritty. His words, not mine. So go make sure and subscribe. Now, time and time again, he showed up in the biggest of moments, but now he would be faced with the most heartbreaking of defeats. That said, the 2022 season was about to bring a brand new low. In Week 7, he re-aggravated a prior injury, causing him to miss the next 5 weeks. Despite the adversity, Chase finished with his second straight 1,000-yard season. So, heading into the 2023 season, Chase was hoping for his 3rd straight 1,000-yard season. But instead, he struggled mightily, combining for only 70 yards in the first 2 games.
I can't do nothing, man. I can't do nothing than what I'm already doing. If I'm open, I'm open.
However, in Week 4, his frustrations had reached a boiling point. Against a 24-point loss to the Titans, he decided he had had enough. The following week, the Bengals finally got Chase involved. He responded with 192 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns on 15 receptions, setting a new franchise record for single-game catches. Overall, Chase finished the season with his 3rd straight 1,000-yard season. However, the Bengals missed the playoffs after Joe Burrow suffered a season-ending injury. Once the offseason started, the Bengals quickly picked up the 5th-year option on Chase's contract, but there was one small problem. Chase was pissed. He watched his college teammate and good friend Justin Jefferson become the highest-paid receiver in NFL history. Meanwhile, Chase was still on his rookie contract without any long-term security.
You know, I just don't think it helps the Bengals. It doesn't help the team.
Step foot on the field until he gets a new deal. With his deal only being $4.8 million max or whatever.
He isn't going to be at his best because he's not getting the useful reps he needs to.
The fines aren't that big, right?
In frustration, Chase held a highly publicized hold-in. He showed up to training camp, but refused to fully participate in practices or drills. That's because he was determined to outdo his former LSU teammate. With Jefferson making $35 million annually, Chase demanded $35 million and 1 penny. But the Bengals weren't willing to make him the league's highest-paid receiver, as the two sides were unable to reach an agreement. So what did Ja'Marr Chase do? He put up the best season of his career. In Week 10 against the Ravens, he had 11 receptions, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns, making him the first player in NFL history to record multiple games of 250-plus receiving yards and 2-plus touchdowns. From that point onward, he had at least 75 yards a game for the rest of the season. More impressively, Chase won the NFL's Triple Crown, leading the league with 127 receptions, 1,708 receiving yards, and 17 touchdowns. With the help of Chase, the Bengals rattled off 5 consecutive wins to end the season. There was only one tiny dilemma. While the Bengals put up the 6th highest points in the league, their defense was atrocious. They allowed the 8th most points, causing the Bengals to miss the playoffs entirely. But instead of improving their defense, they doubled down on their offense. With the salary cap increasing, Chase's demands had changed. When asked about out-earning Jefferson by a penny, Chase's tune changed. As a result, the Bengals handed Chase a record-breaking 4-year extension worth $161 million. With over $40 million annually, he is now the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league. And if that wasn't enough, the Bengals also signed star receiver T. Higgins to an extension worth almost $30 million annually. With Burrow making roughly $55 million per year, the Bengals now have 44% of their salary cap devoted to just Chase, Higgins, and Burrow. And this raises some red flags. Either the 2025 Bengals offense is going to be incredible, or an underpaid Bengals defense is going to have to step up massively. But one thing is for sure. Chase is a special receiver. Everywhere he's gone, high school, college, and now the pros, he's passed with flying colors. But it's one thing to deserve a record-breaking contract, it's another to win a championship. This season, the Eagles won a Super Bowl by taking advantage of fair contracts. They signed their top 2 receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, who are making a combined $57 million per year. Compare this to Higgins and Chase at a combined $69 million annually. At first glance, a $12 million difference might not seem like a lot. However, it allowed the Eagles to sign Saquon Barkley last season to a contract worth less than $13 million annually.
Is money the only thing we value? I mean, to me, that wasn't. I always felt like I took less money so that we could win.
This conundrum between winning and making money also caused Tom Brady to accept multiple contracts well below market value. That's not saying the Bengals can't ball out and win a championship, but it comes at a cost. And now the Bengals don't just need Chase to be great, they need him to be generational. Speaking of monster contracts, is Dak really worth it? Watch this and you tell me if winning 2 playoff games in 10 years deserves a huge contract.